Page 6, swinging along. This lesson we are using a style of music called swing. There's a lot of different genres or kinds of music, styles of music, and 3 of them, swing, jazz, and blues, all use the same style of rhythm, same style of counting. And we call it a swing rhythm, swung rhythm, swing it. Say swing the rhythm, that's what they're talking about. The 8th notes, and only the 8th notes. It's not 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's a straight rhythm. Swung rhythm is a 1 and 2 and 3. It's long, short, long, bum, 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 bum. It's not exactly a triplet, and it's not exactly a 16 or a dotted rhythm. It's in between, but you feel it. There's no notation for it. You just feel it. 1 and 2 and 3. And that's what we're doing here. We're swinging the rhythm. We're doing a swing piece. Now, generally speaking, in those genres, and you run across music, you would just automatically do it. There's nothing in music to tell you to do it. They give a little note above the staff here. That's what that note means for the 2 8 notes equal the triplet. That's what that is indicating, to swing it. But it's not exactly a triplet. They're just telling you to swing it. The point is, if it's a swing piece or a jazz or a blues piece, you don't need to be told. You just do it. If they want it to be a straight rhythm, and sometimes they do, they have to put in even or straight or something to tell you not to swing them. Otherwise, you're going to swing them, I hope. Now, I explained a whole lot of junk in that first lesson for this book because I'm trying to cover as much as I can. I'm not going to do that in every lesson because then that all lasts forever. I don't want to do that. You get bored. I get bored. Everybody's bored. And then we'll save the boring stuff for later. I'm going to, bits and pieces. I'm going to take it so you have to watch multiple videos to kind of get a picture of everything. I'm sneaky that way, you know. So I have a process I use to learn a piece of music. I'm just going to use that process and whatever the music is and trust the process to get me where I want to go. First thing I do is I look it over. I want to know about how long it is. This is 2 lines long. I think I can handle that, I hope. The clef signs, treble and bass, always check them because you never know. The key signature. Again, we're in the key of C major because there's no sharps or flats shown there. After the clef signs, you'd have sharps and flats in there. There's nothing. C major. So do the scale for C major and the scale for A minor. Do them both. A minor has no sharps or flats. I do the scales according to key signature. Now, you don't spend a lot of time on them. Just 1 octave up and down. Do what I explain with the trill exercise and the accents in the videos. It's a little bit every day that does it. Don't spend a lot of time. And then 4/4 time signature. Right hand first. Again, I want a fingering that lets me connect the notes if I can get it. And we're here. And it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. In the measure 4, during the rest, you got to come down. This gets us ready for measure 5. 1 and 2 and measure 5. 1 and 2. 2 is a rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And for the fingering here, again, I don't know how big your hands are or how fat your fingers are, so everybody doesn't fit up in here. Generally, you can just reach down and stick. This keeps the hand out here, and then back. It's up to you. And for measure 7, you can go ahead and use 2nd finger again if you want. Our problem in the last 2 measures is we have 6 notes to cover and we only have 5 fingers. So there's different techniques for doing that. One of them is crossover. So that's the extra finger. Here. Another one would be to use the thumb somewhere in there as the extra finger. So if I use thumb, see, I ran out of finger. So I can use the thumb here. I'm not moving the hand. I just bring the thumb under. Well, if you're doing the scales, this is easy. Here, this way I can use the 3rd finger again. Here. So it's here, and then 3rd finger. How you figure that is up to you and your teacher. Do what your teacher tells you to do. The different teachers will say different things, but just do what your teacher tells you to do. It's easier. It makes life so much simpler. I'm liable to finger that either way. I can figure it from measure 6, from going to here. I can use 2nd finger again. It's right there. And thumb. Or I can use thumb, thumb. I don't know. When I get there, I'll finger it and figure it out. Left hand with eighth notes. Fourth finger, again, because we got 6 notes to cover here, and this is... Now, I don't want to go from measure 2 to measure 3 with 5th finger. I don't want to do that. I don't like it, so I ain't going to do it. So I need a different finger on that measure 2 here. So it's, I can just reach down. Just that 3rd finger is fine. That way the little finger's right there ready to go. Same thing in measure 4. Use 3rd finger and then reach down a little bit. You're ready to go on. That last note is an A. 3 ledger lines below the staff is an A. You need to know that note. Memorize it. 2 ledger lines is a C, and 3 is an A. Then I put them together, and I'm playing, again, straight 8th notes here. We'll do the swinging later. It's here. 1 and 2 and. Now, let's try and be accurate here, because it really comes in handy when the music gets more difficult. In the 2nd measure, here, the right hand comes up on beat 2, or beat 3. 1 and 2 and 3, right there. Try and do that. 1. Doesn't sound right. Well, tough. Do it. Measure 5, 1. The left hand's playing the 8th notes, and the right hand, you can see how it lines up. It's here, here. That's together. Put the hands together, and then I'll go back over a measure or 2 at a time, and I'll get rid of the hesitations. And again, when you're learning it and you're trying to get rid of hesitations, don't keep playing the stuff you can play. It's a waste. Once you've learned it, set it aside and focus on what you can't play. And then put it together. You'll learn it much more quickly. Now, once I can do no hesitations, nice and slow, speed's not important yet, no hesitations, then I add the articulation. You might have slurs and staccatos or whatever, just connect it. They give that measure, 2nd measure, they slur them. See, when they give you a slur, you have no choice. When they don't give you anything, it's up to you. I could disconnect those. But a slur, they take the choice away. You got to do it. That's interpretation. Now, when I get to, where is it? The last 2 measures. We have these lines over the 2nd. Bring those out a little bit and linger on them. Sforzando at the end, the SFZ. That is a major accent. It's the loudest accent you can have. Let the wrist collapse a little bit. Don't bang on it. It's just a really loud accent, and it's staccato. And they give you an accent sign. I disagree with that. You don't need an accent with a sforzando. A sforzando, that does it. So it's just boom, come down. You don't have to use a little finger if you don't want to, because it's a weaker finger. If you want to use one of the other fingers for a louder one, that's fine. Use a different finger. It doesn't matter. You have a rest. You got time to go down. Use 2nd finger or 3rd finger, whatever. That's fine. Then once I have the articulation, I think about the dynamics, and generally it applies to the melody, but in this particular piece, it's sort of important. Both parts are important, like a duet. Here, I missed it in measures 5 and 6. You have staccato here. You get the idea. So, and dynamic-wise, I would say normally it applies to the melody. We have to figure out where that is. But in this case, I'm going to say make it both hands. Generally speaking, it's probably in the right hand, at least for the last 2 because they give the tenutos for the right hand, not the left. So there, if you want, bring the left hand down, let the right hand have it at the end, loud. And this is just sort of loud. Till the last note. That's a banger, huh? Now, once I have an idea of the dynamics, then I'll think about the speed. And that's where the swing comes in. Now I'm going to swing the eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3. Feel it. What? Let's swing the eighth notes. Bum, ba-da-da-da, all the way through. And keep in mind, when you swing eighth notes, there's a limit to how fast or slow you can go. Because if you go too fast, they just don't swing. They just, bleh. And too slow doesn't swing. It doesn't swing anymore. So in these styles of music, a lot of times at the end it'll slow down. And when it does, you'll see a note play evenly. But you don't even need the note. Once you slow down, then you even it out. So it's like the last two measures. So if I slow that way down, I would play those evenly. That's interpretation. This has no retard at the end. They just keep going. So you just keep at it, swinging. Yep, you don't have to play at the speed I do. You can play it at whatever speed you choose to, but don't play it too fast or too slow. Keep it in the middle somewhere. It swings better that way.